What's going on, everyone? This is Jonathan Lacey, and I'm joined here with Isaac Wood. And guys, we are back with another episode of the Weapon X podcast. Um, I know it's been a little bit since we put out an episode, but now I think it was a good break. And Isaac and his lovely wife have traveled out to Europe, man. Like, do you want to give like a just like a little brief rundown of that, man?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so guys, my wife and I got back from Europe not too long ago. We went during the first 2 weeks of December. We went to Germany to go visit some family out there, and then while we were there, we were blessed with the opportunity to go to London, Rome, and Paris while we were there, which was just beautiful. And and I definitely want to say to you guys, like, if you have the opportunity to travel, like go. It's beautiful over there, and it's like different from how things are in America, but in a good way. So I think it'll be a great way for you guys to grow your perspective and just to, see more of this wonderful world that God's created. So,
No doubt, man. And Isaac, do you want to do you want to tell an unpopular opinion about Paris? Like, because I know we had talked about that, and I was like, ooh,
yeah, so guys, Paris is not as romantic as the movies make it seem. Surprisingly, I mean, Paris is nice, but it wasn't the cleanest. And just the smell wasn't what I thought it would be. But however, I gotta say the Eiffel Tower is beautiful. The Louvre is beautiful, and the people that we talked to were great. I mean, because while there, we did a food tour, so we got to go around to different shops, different restaurants, and different delis, and kind of speak to the people there. And they take a lot of pride in their craft over there, and I mean, they're just really cool to talk to. So yeah, I mean, even though it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. It was still a great opportunity. So if you can go, I would say go.
Yeah, yeah. It just cracked me up because when he said that, I was like, really? Like, no, man. But dude, like, it seemed like you guys really had a good time, and just want to give a shout out to Chris, your nephew, man.
Yeah,
To all the people serving overseas and just serving in general, guys. Um, we thank you for your service, man, and you guys are the real heroes here. So
for
thank
sure.
you. Um, today, guys, we are going to dive in to probably, I would say, one of probably a very popular shonen anime, um, Death Note, guys. And with today's episode, we're going to do things a little different. I'm going to let Isaac actually lead this episode, and because I know. Well, I was telling him, I've been thinking about just like letting him do that and see how he felt with it, and he was cool with it. So, you know, without further ado, let's make it happen. Isaac, take us, man.
All right, guys. So this is our review of Death Note. So Death Note is an older anime. It came out crazy that I'm saying old, but it came out in 2006. It's different from your traditional anime, in my opinion.
Hmm.
It's more psychological, thriller, and mystery oriented. But pretty much the plot of the show is about this high school student named Light Yagami. He's your average student, except, well, actually, he's above average. He's a
I'm
top in
gonna
his
say,
class, smartest guy there. And he even interns with his dad at the police station, and he even gets to help them solve cases.
hmm
So, I mean, there's this high school student solving these cases, doing all this stuff. But then one day, on his way home from school, he's just thinking, hey, the world is kind of boring. Like, everything's boring right now. And coincidentally, there's the Shinigami who comes to Earth, and a Shinigami is pretty much like a Grim Reaper, if you want to think of it that way. And they have these books called Death Notes. So pretty much how it works is that if you write someone's name in the Death Note, about like a few minutes later, that person dies randomly.
hmm
So Ryuk, who's the key Shinigami of the show, he decides to shake things up on Earth. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna drop this Death Note and see what a human does with it.
and he only did that because he was bored
He was bored,
as
man.
well, right?
Yeah, it seems like boredom is the key feature in this show.
Hmm.
So when so Ryuk drops the book, and of course, Light Yagami finds it. He's like, "Huh, Death Note." So he reads the rules about it. Pretty much if you write down someone's full name, about I think like 6 minutes later or so, a person dies of a heart attack. But you can also specify the like type of death. So if you want to, so you can say, "Hey, this person gets hit by a car." You can specify it that way.
Yeah.
So like Light is like, you know what, this can't be real. This can't be. So he tries it out on some death row victims who are being like shown on the news. So like these criminals, he's like, okay, I'll write down their name, and he did it, and they start dying. So this guy just he goes nuts. He goes overboard. He's like, wow, with this book, I can cleanse the world of any type of villain or anything that I see isn't gonna work, So I can pretty much become the god of this world. So you see this kid who starts out being kind and merciful and fighting for good kind of get corrupted by the power of
Hmm.
death, essentially. And that's pretty much the show. But it introduces you to like a lot of cool characters, which I mean, John, if you want to speak into it, I mean, there are some cool characters
Yeah.
in the show.
I would say obviously the character that sticks out is definitely L. Um, L and Light. It's basically a cat and mouse game with
Mhm.
these two throughout the show, and um, I would say he was definitely there. He was odd, extremely odd, but I know it's a popular, not popular, but it's like a study. I want to say that they were saying that people that tend to be just quote unquote awkward to societal norms, they usually are highly intelligent. And I think L he definitely helps that argument
Yeah.
because this man, like even to his mannerism, like how he even sits, like this man sits in like a catcher's stance. you know, like
Play
I'm
ball.
sitting, I'm sitting in like a lawn chair right now. I guarantee you, this dude, he was still sit like that, even in a chair like this, and you're just like, man, like what is up with this dude? Because he eats sugar. I think you and I talked about this. I don't even think this man ate one fruit or vegetable throughout the show.
Nothing, bro. He didn't eat meat or anything.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm just like, bro, what in the world?
Man was just eating sugar, drinking tea with like 20 sugar cubes in it.
Yeah, yeah. Like it was nuts, man. And and I would say probably another character that sticks out to me just because of how silly they were.
Mm.
And I would say Mikasa. Hmm.
Oh, yes.
Not Mikasa, Misa. Misa.
Misa. That girl was crazy, man. And
Yeah.
man, and guys, like so, but pretty much to like talk more about the series. So pretty much Light, he pretty much becomes this world known, I guess, not serial, well, I guess like a serial killer, but also liberator by the name of Kira. So,
Hmm.
but then with that, other people get that title of Kira because throughout the show, I mean, the different people pass along the Death Note. There are other Death Notes in the world that you learn about, and like Misa is like another character, who has a Death Note, and
Hmm.
she pretty much sees Light as her god essentially. So like she's like, I'll do whatever you want. She's very like Harley Quinn like
Yeah.
in a sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And you said that, and that was, I feel like that was the perfect comparison too, because you just throughout the show, I mean, any person from the outside looking in could see, oh yeah, like dude, like light is using you. And
Yeah.
so, but but she is so caught up, like you were saying, like she viewed him as her god, and like, hey, I'll do anything for you. I love you, light, and blah blah blah,
Hmm.
um and it just, I don't know, it just kind of, just from the outside looking in, it's like, man, unfortunately there are people out here that are like that,
Hmm.
where they're it's too blind to see that. But just seeing it in the show, it's like, wow, dude, it just really makes you think, because there's people out here that will manipulate you to get what they want. and
Yeah,
and
bro.
light and like you said in the description, Light, he started out as an anti-hero, but like that was like for a brief moment in time.
Yeah,
and and once he got a taste of that power, man, it yeah, like he just went down a dark path.
yeah, man. Because it's crazy. Because he started out writing a few names to this man's filling out pages of of
Yeah.
just people, and it was insane. Especially with the whole like montages they would show when he would take out the pen
Oh
and just
my.
start just going.
Yeah. This man started cranking out novels, bro.
For real, bro. It's like, yeah, like how do you not run out of pages?
It just kind of reminded me of that you remember that one scene of SpongeBob when he was getting ready to start writing and he
Yeah,
wrote the word the.
yeah.
That's basically what it started. He was like, yeah, 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 I got it. I got
Dude, that's so accurate because he
it.
just put in so many effort, like just some of this, some of that, some
That's
of these,
it.
some of
And
these. The
but no, dude, it yeah, he just started like I feel like each time he used it, man, you could just see it in his eyes of how just just how deep of a rabbit hole he went in. But he I I feel like when you use embrace, the word embrace is usually used in a positive term, but I feel like in this like when he embraced it, it's definitely in a negative
yeah,
way.
he embraced his dark instincts, and
Oh,
I mean, I think it just shows how much of how his pride kind of got to him too. Because I mean, because at the beginning of the show, like Light is like top of his class. He's like the pride of his family, the
yeah.
pride of his school. Everyone's like, "You're the best." And so when he gets this Death Note, he's like, "You know what? I am the best. No one's smarter than me. Nobody can oppose me." But then you have people coming up along the way who are making him killing like harder. So you have like L, like all these great detectives kind of coming after him, and just really putting him in bad spots. But it's crazy because I mean, pride comes before a fall, and that
Mhm.
happens a lot in that show. Because I mean, shoot, like Light, he had a really good streak for like 6 years.
He did, man.
6 years, no one figured it out.
It was nuts of just how long like this man was in his 20s. Like still just cranking this stuff out, man. And
Hmm.
um just to the lengths that he went to uh, I don't know, I guess to withhold his agenda or
Hmm.
just to see through anything. Like he did not care what he had to do. And he definitely lost himself along
Facts.
the way, man, like very very quickly actually. And I think part of that was just because he was so young. Like he was highly intelligent, but like when you try something for the first time and it just and you like let's say freaking Oreos, man. Like
Oh.
you try Oreos for the first time and it's like, you know what? I'm gonna try another one. And then you
Hmm.
try another one, and then before you know it, you done went through a whole sleeve of Oreos, and it's just like you don't even realize like how deep of a dark path you have you've taken, man, with it.
Yeah,
So like because I think he was 17 at the time when all of this had transpired, I
I
believe.
think so. Yeah.
18 years old. So that like that he's young. He was young, man. Like and he was just kind of really getting ready to go out into the real world. And then you give that to a kid who is still like he's immature. Like yeah, he's intelligent, but he was immature. I mean,
Very.
like so show me a kid that's not.
I know.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
It's like he was like, "You can't tell me anything wrong. I have all the answers. I know it all. I'm good. I don't need help or any type of advice." But it backfired, and man, it's just crazy to see. Because I mean, just going through the show, like all the characters are introduced, and like of how they're trying to figure out who Kira, aka Light, is. Like who's killing all these people, and I felt for Light's father the most. I want to say
Mm,
I mean, because like Light's father was put in charge of the people to find Kira, so the guy is living in this household this whole time, and it's his son too. And then,
yeah.
dude, because you saw him, like he had so much stress. Like he started out at the beginning of the series, full black hair, mustache, but at the end, bro, this man, he done lost like 20 years of his life. It looked like.
And dude, you like what really sucked though? He died believing a lie.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
he
Like
did.
he died believing that, um and it sucks. It sucks because like it's like, dude, no, like your son is doing this, like
Hmm.
like you and a lot of people kind of had it right, but then of course, like Light was always one step ahead.
Yeah,
You
like
know, um,
yeah.
even like you just even like earlier on in the series, like people were like figuring out pretty quickly, but too late.
Yeah,
Too
it's like
late.
by the time they figured out anything, they would die pretty much.
Yeah,
It was like too late. And I mean, and there were times where people did suspect Light of being Kira, but the way that he kind of carried himself and how he set things up, it's like, wait, it can't be him. Wait,
the
can it?
poker face.
I don't know. There isn't enough evidence. Well, he's the smartest guy on the case. We can help. Like he can help us out. But then again, he's kind of like Kira, but he's not. And it's kind of like that whole back and forth.
But my whole thing about it too, about throughout all of the entire series,
Mm.
Light almost knew too much
He
while he
did,
was
bro.
speaking. While he was speaking to these guys, like, well, how can it be then if this and how can it be? And it's just like, all right, you know a little too much about this. Like you have a lot to say every time we bring it up. Mm.
Yeah.
So it's just like I don't know. I think kind of like you were saying. I think a lot of people again suspected and probably knew in their hearts like, hey, this is Light. I think Light is doing all of this, but and then there's like that small 5% where it's like, maybe it's me. Maybe I'm tripping that to think that he's doing this. But
Hmm.
I was like, nah, dude, that your gut instinct was right.
Yeah. And honestly, I don't think it helped, and guys, sorry for all the spoilers on this, it's just such a great show that we're gonna talk about it. We're just gonna talk
Yeah,
about
yeah,
it.
and yeah, you can still experience. I'm like, there's still a lot that you will
Mhm.
uncover because like the way things unravel, I still think you can check it out and still
Yeah.
be surprised.
Because I mean we said a few things, but there's just still so much of the show that we didn't
Mhm,
say that yeah, you guys should watch it to really get it.
absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, but yeah, when it comes to L of how he kept Light close to the case, because like he's like, I think it's 5% possibility that you Light or Kira, but I'm not completely sure yet. But
Yeah,
then again, you're a good you're a good partner to have on this case because of how smart you are. And I mean, it seemed like whenever Light to us seemed like he's giving out too much information. L in a sense will kind of like back him up, saying like, that is pretty logical right there. I agree with that. I agree
yeah,
you know.
yeah,
And it's like, dang, this is not helping at all.
yeah, and I think that's exactly it. Like when you have two intelligent minds working on a case like that, and sometimes like I don't know, like he was able to kind of finesse
Hmm.
his way. He was able to talk at L's level because I think he knew L was the main person he had to convince.
Yep.
So really, in that time, he was just talking to him outside of the the main crew of that case. But yeah, man, we can go on and on about this, but like I do have a question for you though, as a
Yeah.
who. So I mean, we can do like who's our favorite and who's our least favorite, but like to me, or for me, what I want to know is who is your most underrated character in the show?
Mm, man, most underrated character. Man, I'm trying to remember his name, but it was one of the. You know what? Honestly, I want to say L's Butler. That dude,
Yeah.
that dude was so essential. Because I mean, because when it came to the police force having, because guys, it's like pretty much in the show. I mean, things get so bad with Kira to where people getting close to him were dying. That
Mhm.
they were cops who were like, you know what, we're gonna leave the force. We're not doing this anymore. But
Yeah.
out of all the cops that stayed, there were like five of them who got to work with L. And L is very smart, but I mean, in terms of like organizing a whole team like that, I mean, he pretty much leaned on his butler to do that. And I forget what his name was, but he was so essential. Like he gave them all the gear they needed. He would acquire information. I mean, he kept everything going. And I think it sucked, when he died. And then if I have to give an honorable mention, I forget her name, but it was like Misa's Shinigami.
Oh,
Um,
Rem.
yeah,
Is it?
Rem.
Yeah.
Rem was pretty cool. And it sucked of how, Light manipulated her.
Yeah, man.
That sucked because I mean, but I mean, without Rem, I mean, I don't think Light would have ever really beat L.
Yeah.
Like, I think L would have had a much better chance and probably would have figured it out sooner.
And
And
Light knew that.
yeah.
Light definitely knew that. I like to so my I would say probably my underrated character, I would say is oh man, who was the FBI agent's fiance?
Oh yeah, Ray Pember's fiance.
Yeah, I can't remember her name to save my life,
Yeah,
but
dude, she
bro,
was so close.
she was so stinking close, man. And just seeing just how she carried herself and how she moved, like she was only in the show for a brief moment in time, but you just looked at how much she did though in that short amount of time. I was like, dude, she she's smart, man. She was really, really intelligent. Like even to the point where she kind of played mind games with Light.
Kind of testing him
Yeah,
and
testing
whatnot.
him out, man. Because again, like you're an FBI agent, like you're trained to kind of know how to do these things, how to move, and like don't give out your real identity and all this stuff. And it was just cool just seeing how close she was to
Hmm.
cracking the case, man. And then of course L L being L, not L, Light being
Like,
Light, man. It unfortunate, like
I
it just happened
know.
like that, dude.
Because, bro, if she just would have stopped talking, like, it's like her last two sentences that she made. If she didn't say that, she would have made it to the station, would have been able to kind of tell what she knew, and it would
Yeah.
have just been, it just would have fallen apart. But one thing that kind of always made me laugh was like Lights in her dialogue. So
Mm,
when someone was getting close, he's like, "Oh no, I gotta kill them now, right
yeah.
now."
Gotta take them out. Got to, got to take them out. Whoa.
Gotta do it now. I gotta figure it out. And then when he's talking, he's like, "Hey, how you doing?" He's
He
very like nice about it.
he would, yeah, he would put on the telephone customer service voice. Mm.
Yes.
He would pull it real quickly on you, man. And I'm just like, you are a sneaky little man.
Yeah.
I,
It's like, "Hi, I'm Ken from State Farm." Like he kind
yeah,
of has like
yeah.
that
It's like,
that tone.
it's
Hmm.
like, hey, you're not tricking me,
Yeah.
bro.
But I mean, he was smart about it. But like, it's funny because I mean, yeah, because like when it comes to the Death Note, like you really got to be creative in order to like use it how you want. Because I mean, if you don't have someone's like full name, you just can't use it.
Right? Yeah, yeah. And dude, like, I think we kind of just need to acknowledge this too. People don't. I think people kind of overlook how powerful the Death Note actually is. Let's be honest.
Mhm.
If you wanted to defeat um Goku or whatever, dude, like, or even like One Punch Man, all these guys that are powerful, all he would have to do is just write down their name.
You would think, because I
You
mean,
know,
Goku. I'm not. I mean, maybe, but it's strange because, dude, there are so many debates online. It's like, would the Death Note work on Saitama, aka One Punch Man? So it's
Yeah.
like, because I mean, he's just so powerful. It's like anything that you would think would kill him doesn't.
And
you
you
know?
know what? Right, right. And so like, and we that's like a whole nother topic in itself. But like,
Mhm.
but I think people overlook how powerful the Death Note actually
It
is.
is.
Because like, dude, you really all you have to do is just write a person's name down, and if you don't not specific with the death, like you acknowledge, you'll just die with a heart attack within. I think it was 40 seconds or something like that.
It was something because I think it was, yeah, because I think you had to like write their name. It was like this weird number. I think it was like 6 minutes and some seconds,
Yeah, it was
something like
weird. Like
that.
the 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 rules of how the Death Note worked definitely. I mean, they're simple in a sense, but it's just like again having to have the knowledge of the
Mhm.
person's name, and it, it's, it was a definitely a doozy.
Yeah, especially with like adding rules or
Yeah, man.
to like trip people up. Because I mean,
Yeah,
because it's crazy. Because like after he had Ryuk add them, like people who found that book was like, oh, so this is the rule, but it wasn't. So it kind of helped him hide even longer, which was just so dirty.
right.
So it's smart though. It's like, dang, didn't know you could do that.
So bro, like what what would be like the like a high like what's your high and low for this show?
So the high, man, I think the moment that kind of had me the most like shocked, uh, it may have been the ending. The ending
Mm,
was my high,
hmm.
like with the whole realization where like Light's like, I got it, I'm the winner, it's all in the bag,
Right.
and it started falling apart. But
Yeah.
then for the low, man, I probably want to say when Ray Pember's fiance died,
Mm,
because that was just so sad to me. It's like she had it, but I saw that flash.
yeah. Like,
What
Light,
was
yeah,
that?
he's doing his own thing right now.
It's
So,
light.
yeah, yikes.
But yeah, probably that moment because I mean, she had figured it out, and like she wasn't even directly on the case. And I mean, it just goes to show that if she was probably more active in it, Light probably would have got caught sooner.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like, but Light, he's such a smooth talker that like the way he talked to her and kind of like made her think that he's on her side and whatnot. It
Yeah.
just it was sad.
Yeah, and dude, the way he had her kill herself too was so dark, man.
I know.
Like, oh, I and again, like guys, like I know we are giving away some spoilers, but like I'm not gonna go in depth about like too much, but I will say that yeah, that was definitely pretty messed up.
Mhm.
I would say, man, like for a high for me in this show, I think I think just seeing kind of like you, like with Near, like
Mhm.
how he constructed everything.
Yeah.
Like that dude, like we talk about how intelligent L was. Near was almost on a whole different level and stuff.
Mhm.
And again, he was like, oh man, see, by the time that was happening, so he was probably 16 at that time.
I think it was like 15, 16. Like he was still pretty young.
He was still really young, but the dude, his intelligence was so advanced that it's like, all right, because again, you see this, you come in like you're an FBI agent, like, all right, I'm gonna work with Near, and you thinking Near is just like like a 20-some-year-old guy or whatever, or a little bit older, and then you walk in, you see this kid just playing with these toys, and
Yeah.
and then it's like, huh?
What is
Like
this?
this is the person that like. Where's Ashton Kutcher at, man? Like,
Yeah. Let me punch.
yeah, like what is going on? But you actually sit there and talk to him, and you're like, crap, this dude knows, like he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Um, just seeing how he constructed everything near the end, like it was cool. It
Yeah,
was, man.
and if how like he used that other guy. Dang it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
forget his name, but it's crazy, like of how like L, like of how like the place he came from, they had people being trained to kind of like take his place.
yeah. Which
You
is
know,
that's crazy. That orphanage,
yeah,
like,
it's
man.
like the X-Men. It's
I
like,
was just about to say, like, yo, Professor X, you gotta step your game up, man.
yeah,
But I would say, man, for a low, I would probably say when L,
yeah.
yeah, like when that whole situation happened, I was just like, dang, dude,
I
and it was
know.
it was too late.
It really that was sad. 'Cause I mean, because like L knew it too. He's like,
He did.
man, I'm missing something, but it's too late. Whatever light is doing. Because like I think in that moment he was still like, I don't know. It could be light, but if it is light, then I'm done.
Right,
You got me.
right, man, and dude, it was just nuts of how everything just kind of unraveled there. But um, and I would say that the show kind of dipped in a little way after
Yeah.
that too. But again, like I'm not going, kind of like with Game of Thrones. I'm
Mhm.
not going to let you know a a bad ending. I don't even call it bad, but just like not the ending you were hoping for.
Mhm.
Let that be let that dictate the overall of like greatness of a show.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So and with that being said, like what would you rate like on a scale like 1 through 10? What are you rating this show?
Um, man, I mean, personally for me, I think I'll give it a 7.5.
Okay.
I'll
Okay.
do that because I mean, I thought it was a really cool take on mystery and thriller, and I
Mhm.
mean, that's kind of, I mean, that was probably like one of the more like pioneer, I guess, animes to kind of do that, at least to me. But I mean, I think there were probably some areas to improve in. Because I mean, there were some times where the explanations for things were a little too complicated
Yeah.
or far fetched, where it's like, I don't know. But then again, it is anime. But I
Right.
mean, I think overall, like the storytelling was good. The pacing of the show was really good. Because I mean, it's crazy to think it was only like 30 some episodes, but it
Yeah.
felt like a really long show because
Right.
they baked so much into each episode, and it's like, wow, how long have I been watching? It gets kind of crazy.
And that's why I would kind of say too, like because for me, I would probably give it a 7 out of 10, and just for the fact of like kind of like you were just saying that I think near the end they kind of rushed.
Yeah.
They rushed the ending. I think they could have. I think with everything that happened, I would probably say they still had like 8 to 10 episodes that they could have fit in.
Yeah, they could have kind of stretched it out more because a lot of stuff just kind of ended in that episode. Which I mean, they ended it, but it was like really abrupt.
Yeah, yeah,
You
because I
know?
was just like, not not my well, like, and I'm not saying that it's like overrated or whatever, but it's definitely not what I was expecting as an ending and stuff. But I would say that this show, I still think to
Mhm.
this day, I still think it can stand with the test of times.
I think so.
Hmm. Like it was pretty solid. I would say for majority of the show, this show was solid, and I still would recommend it. Like even as a big, I know we did our beginner anime show before, and like thanks to the people that checked that out, but like I would still put that and
Dang.
hey, like if you're just getting into anime, check this out.
Yeah, because I mean, it's definitely like a more serious toned anime. And I mean, if you like mystery, you like thriller, and I mean, you kind of like some darker components. I mean, I think you'll like it,
Yeah.
and yeah, I mean, I would definitely keep it on my beginner list. You know,
Yeah,
so
absolutely. Absolutely, man. Yeah, and like Isaac said, man, this show definitely I think kind of opened the doors for other animes as well. And this show is definitely I would say I don't know if it's in a is I won't put it in the top 5
mm,
anime,
yeah,
but it's definitely up there as far as like one of the better animes. And guys, if you just heard that, I'm sorry. That was my Great Dane shaking, and that was her jaws flopping against each other. But no, man. Guys, thank you for joining us, man. And like, dude, this episode was fantastic. And guys, like Isaac and I have talked about this too. We do plan on, kind of expanding our shows that we will be talking about. And like, so that will include animation shows, like, because X-Men and Batman animated series, Avatar, or even some live action shows as well.
yeah, some good old Invincible.
Yeah, yeah, and Invincible, yes, yeah. If you haven't checked out Invincible, man, do yourself a favor and check it out. And
Yeah,
and guys, if you have any shows that you would like for us to review, drop them down in the comments, guys. Just leave a review um and just let us know. Yeah, like
oh yeah,
we definitely are always looking to review some things. So yeah, but Isaac, before we head out, like, do you have anything that you want to tell the people, man?
yeah, guys. Again, I mean, don't be afraid to try something new. You know, try out a new show. You know, because be anime or any type of animation or just any show in general. I mean, there's just a lot of stuff that some people might try to make you feel like, oh, you're a little nerdy for watching that, but who cares? You know, if it's good
Yeah,
content, it's good content. So
and like, guys, it's 2023. If you are still afraid to, just embrace your nerdiness, like, guys, don't be afraid. All right, because I'm telling you, just there's almost like a whole different world to waiting to be explored
facts.
with anime and just animation in general. Like guys, even we talked about this yesterday. Isaac and I did, and we'll probably somewhere down the line probably review it. But the Blue Eye Samurai, guys, check it out. Like, I don't care if you are 13 years old, 33, or even 63. Check it out. Like, I'm telling you, it's such a good show. And I think you guys would be in for a treat, man. And like I say, it could be a stepping stone to something bigger. So
Facts.
yeah, man. But with that being said, guys, thank you for tuning in this episode, and guys, join us next time.
Yep. And have a happy new year.
Yes, and happy New Year. Thank you, Isaac. Yeah, you guys take care.
All right, guys. Peace.